Welcome to Subramani. This is an advice to young advisors, or let me start by saying I must have completed more than 25 years of talking about investing. I've been investing for much longer, but I've been talking about investing, making a pitch about how great a broker we are to financial institutions, right? So I've done all that. So I've been talking about investments definitely before the turn of this century. So I'm definitely around 25 years of investing advice. So I now want to advise young investors, or young advisors rather, telling them what to do, or this could be like a dialogue that I am talking to a younger me in the year maybe 98, 99, or towards the close of my advisory as to what all one should do. So first of all, you need to develop a patience to be advising your clients. It is not easy for a young advisor with just black hair, no wrinkles, from a rich family or from a upper middle class family to suddenly go and meet others and expect that the others will share their financial history, geography, whatever with you, right? It takes time to build trust, and if you have built trust with Mr. A, it does not mean Mr. B, who has been referred to by Mr. A, would be as trusting. He does not even know you, right? So there is no way how that person can be so trusting. But it has happened to me that somebody would walk into my office and say, I have seen your, I've read your blog, I've seen your videos or something, and say, can you handle this money for me? There was one lady, I'm sure she's watching this video, who came and left, I had gone out, she left signed checks worth 80 lakhs. This must be way back in 2003, 2004, or just after that. And that's it. Blank checks were left on my desk, nicely within some mutual fund folder. And I called her back and said, lesson number one, we have met half an hour back, and I had gone out and you came and you just left these blank checks. This is not on, right? So some of these things have happened. People trust you because of who you are, because of the blog that you write, or the lectures that you give, or the videos that you make. There could be clients who have not even seen you, whom you have spoken to only on the phone, and so maybe your staff is speaking to them, but they trust you, they advise you, they listen to you, they take your advice, etc. But be patient. You can't win over a client in the first meeting, and in the first meeting you may want to say something which is perhaps a little blunt, and it may not be possible. I also preferred, first of all, let me put a caveat. Last 10 years I have not added any clients. Some old clients who are there, I may be still servicing them, but beyond that, nothing. I don't do advisory work, so don't please send me a mail saying, will you do advisory work? No, I don't do advisory work at all. I have not added any clients in the last 10 years for sure. Having said that, a client will not listen to you unless he or she feels the benefit of listening to you, right? We don't listen to our parents unconditionally, right? We may have done it till the age of 2 or 3, but beyond that we have our own mind. So similarly, a client will take time. A client will, you sit with a client, you say, you need medical insurance worth 50 lakhs, your wife needs medical insurance worth maybe 10 lakhs or 20 lakhs, and your in-laws also need some medical insurance because something could go wrong. He could take his insurance, he could take his wife's insurance, but he may not take his in-laws insurance because he thinks, no, they don't need, they have some other medical cover, etc., etc. Now, it does not mean that what you are right, that you're the thing right or wrong, right? He wanted to listen to some portion of your advice. That's possible. So be patient. Maybe after 2-3 years you bring it up and say, look, I know your father-in-law has a cover which is available 20 kilometers from here, but be practical. Are you willing to drive down at 2 a.m. because he has had a problem? So then he'll consider, he may sit with his wife and say, look, let us take at least a small 5-10 lakh insurance, because if there is something nearby, we may have to go there and then go to the other place where you can get maybe better advice or better medical care. So all these things could happen. So you need patience. Don't expect the client to come to you on day one and say, here is my 5 lakhs, here is my 10 lakhs, here is my 1 crore, handle everything. He or she is going to test you slowly. So patience you need. The client has to feel that he or she will benefit by listening to you, and then only will they be on board with you, right? So that's very important. Also, most of us can create Excel sheets and demonstrate how a 20,000 rupee SIP can turn to 4 crores, etc., etc., etc. But 90% of the clients are not interested in that. They know that EQ is far more important than IQ as to, because he or she is going to get intimidated by Excel sheets. All you need is to say, look, your daughter's education will be funded for by this, your son's education will be funded by this, their marriages, if you want it funded, can come from here. This is your retirement corpus, and for heaven's sake, don't touch your retirement corpus for any of your other goals, because you will never be able to borrow for your retirement goal. Right, so saying all that is important. Demonstrating all this on Excel is not as important as holding your client's hands, making sure that when the market is booming, you say, look, you're lucky to have got 21%, 12% is the average return that you should expect, and holding the client's hands when they get 6% or 7%, saying, remember you got 21%, so that 9% was excess, so now you're getting less than 12%, so one day this too shall pass. Being able to do that, holding their hand and containing their euphoria when they say, oh no, I think this government is coming for a 4th term, 5th term, 10th term, whatever it is. There will be something which can go wrong somewhere in some part of the world or in your client's own life, right? Something can go wrong. He could have a heart attack at 48 and then take a much less demanding job, which he may not mentally be ready, but physically he may be forced to do that. Or it may be a woman saying, look, I'm 47 years of age, I worked for 25 years, I'm now hanging up my boots, which means the next 13 years she's not going to contribute to the retirement kitty, which means his retirement, which was planned at 52, may now have to happen at 57. So talking about all this takes patience. It is not easy. It's not going to happen on the first time. It is your EQ has to be higher than your IQ, or the importance of understanding the psychology of why some person is saying this. I think I have a book on money wiring, how your mind is wired about money. All that is important to read a lot about behavioral finance, read and understand why clients are talking in a particular way. All this is important, and while doing all this, make sure that you as an advisor take care of your health, because life is not worth living unless you take care of your health. We need a balance of everything. We need good health, we need money, we need good family life, we need a good social life, we need good friends. All this together makes a good life, whether you as an advisor or for your clients, right? So all this is important. No, not just that, oh, I got so much money. I mean, nobody wants to die at the age of 80 with lots of money, but saying, oh, I missed seeing my grandchildren, I missed playing with them, I missed their graduation, right? Don't do that. Go enjoy, have fun. Make sure that you don't run out of money. That's what your advisor will do, right? So here I'm talking to the advisor. So the advisor should, as an advisor, you should make sure that the client does not run out of money. That is the most important goal. But to die rich and having lived poor is also a very poor reflection on the advisor. Of course, it's the client's choice, but to be able to assure the client that look, you have enough money to stay in a 10,000-12,000 rupee room. You don't have to stay in a 3,000 rupee sleazy hotel in a small place. You can stay in a good hotel. Yes, it's not necessary for you to spend 1 lakh a night in a forest reserve where you're going to see. But yeah, spending 12,000, 13,000 may not be such a bad idea after all. I mean, given this balance sheet, etc. So being able to convey all this takes time, takes patience, takes EQ, and only then you can do it. Also, it is always nice to talk a little less about yourself and talk more about the client, finding out what he is curious about. Maybe he's a big temple goer, maybe he's a big photographer who likes to go to forests and shoot, right? So all these things I've seen. Or maybe he's a very he's a sports freak and he runs and he cycles, he does triathlons, he enjoys having fun doing that. And reassuring him that buying a 6 lakh rupee bicycle is not a bad idea if it is going to give him happiness, right? So is it available? Yes, it's available. 10 lakhs bicycle, yes, it's available. So talking about all those things will mean, and he'll say, look, I want to buy this Canon 400mm Prime and it costs 10 lakhs, can I afford it? I want to travel business class, can I afford it? Being able to say all this is part of your advisory. It is not necessary that you just pick up funds and say, oh, I'm going to be very unemotional. Yes, we should be unemotional, you should be unemotional. Many times blunt communication is necessary, but every time you can't be blunt. You have to talk to each client very differently. Some clients like your blunt behavior, some clients do not like may not like your blunt behavior. So be careful about how you are communicating. Each client can be different. Some clients can just want WhatsApp, some clients want to pick up the phone, some client may want regular communication. He or she may call and say, can we do this, can we do this? Some other clients you may have to provoke and say, look, do you want to do this? This is a good time to be investing, you have excess, you don't do an SIP, so should we do this, right? Any of those things are possible. So be curious about what the client, Hindi mein the word is jigyasa, some curiosity about what the client is doing, what the client's family life is. Not be too nosy, right? So find out all this. All this is going to be useful. If you know that his daughter is 3 years of age and son is 7 years of age, knowing that some money can be invested in their names, some money can be invested maybe in his parents' names. There will be no clubbing when he invests in the parents' name. But be careful. If you overdo it, the ITO can say, look, this is meant to avoid tax. So check out on all that. Understanding all that, understanding taxation of investments, all this is important for you to know so that you can have a sensible conversation with the client. I'm assuming you are doing a full financial plan, so understanding all the requirements, when he needs the money, all this is very important, right? Many a times blunt communication saying, look, this is not possible. With 2.5 crore net worth, you cannot afford to put 50 lakhs in a real estate PMS. You just can't afford. You don't have the liquidity. This is necessary to tell them that, because they can get carried away, because the PMS provider could be giving them a lunch in a 5-star hotel with the family saying, look, it's very important because you are a very important client for us and 50 lakhs is an important sum. Can we meet at the Taj? Can we meet at the Oberoi? Can we meet at Leela? Any of those things are perfectly possible. So then the typical middle class person feels very obliged and says, can you remove money from my mutual fund, put it in PMS? It's necessary to say what he is capable of doing or what she is not capable of doing, right? So sometimes the client wants to hear what you're saying. Sometimes he or she is happy with silence. I see all kinds of people. Some people who want the financial advisor to speak to them every quarter, and some who say, look, if I have something, I will call you. So which means he's saying, just lay off. Don't pester me with your new products and IPOs and NFOs and new broking transactions possible. I don't want. When I want, I'll talk to you. And there are some who will leave you and go because you didn't talk enough or you didn't talk often enough, right? So all these exist. Some clients will come, stay with you for long, get you in for get you clients, get you referrals, and some will say, oh, you didn't suggest anything to me, so I'm walking away. He might like somebody who will churn more often. If that's not your way, bad luck. But be willing to give up clients. Don't say all these clients who I've got will stay with me for life. You may not need them, you may not want them, some may not be worth keeping. So I have seen people who have jumped at beck and call of the client and rendered service, and it's not been very useful for them, and it has actually been unhealthy for them. So looking after your mental and physical health is important. Maybe you can handle 15 clients, 20 clients. Beyond that, it is not going to be possible. So maybe you require relationship managers, etc., which means your HR skills come into play. So understand all this when you're growing. Because if you don't understand, if you don't drop bad clients, the good clients are the ones who will leave. Thank you.